It's interesting because you're doing a lot in the entertainment side of things, but you've also got entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that connects to committing yourself to things like a house and realizing it's about multiplying. Black Mouf, tell me about that.
So, Black Mouf, man, Black Mouf, again, like the roots of it is all in imagination. Our slogan is immortality through imagination. I started drawing this logo. I remember the day, like, man, I was in science class. I remember Bill Nye, the science guy, was playing in the background. And I just used to draw these little pencil shapes. And I started forming that pencil shape into like a little hat and like a man wearing a hat. And that was sort of my thing. Like, I remember at the time, the Word of Mouth CD had came out. I was creating my first email, and I thought, okay, Black Mouf. And it just sort of stuck. It became like a moniker. It became a nickname. And then I used to like draw that all the time. Like I remember I did I had a mixtape. We had like a three-track EP that me and my buddies had did back in middle school. And I used to just tag that logo, whether it was in the video or whatnot, or wherever I go, I just used to tag that. And both of those things stuck with me throughout my life. So 2013 comes around, again, when I'm doing my short criminal, and I had one startup company before then, and then, you know, another one just for like tax purposes. But it was like, okay, what am I going to start branding myself as? I thought, what has stuck with me throughout all the years? And so many people ask, like, what is Black Mouf? I kind of want to leave the name itself open to interpretation. Because I could tell you right now what it means to me. Like, if storytelling is the most common form of word of mouth, then Black Moufs are my stories. But sometimes people come up to me and they have all these different meanings. And I like that. I like that something resonates with them. Whether it's good or bad, it resonates somehow with you because you don't understand what the word is. Now you have to think of what the word is. Black Mouf to me, I look to some of my idols like Spielberg, and I look to like Kanye. People who aren't afraid to be kids no matter how old they are. Immortality through imagination. Like, imagination shouldn't die just because you get older. Just because you have to deal with your ego. In fact, separate your ego and go back to the stuff that really made you smile. Remember the times where you were a child and you weren't worried about the future or the past. You were just worried about the now. You were present. You know, that's what I really want to get across with Black Mouf. Like, that's what I want to strive for within all of my art. Like, a lot of people say, like, I make morbid stuff that's either dark or gruesome or scary. Or then on the flip side of that, like, I love imagination. Like, I love things about space and future and like time traveling and things of that. So I just want to bring like fantasy, escapism. You know, we're in such like a movement where everything got to be real, everything got to be hard. You know what I mean? Like, we need to tell the truth. But what is that one fantasy element that turns everything upside down? That's what I want to infuse in all of my projects, you know? So Black Mouf itself is a movement. It's a collective. Like, if you fuck with that, if you fuck with the idea of imagination and just like remaining youthful and no matter what, just being fearless, that's what I really wanted to stand for. Even down to my merch, like when you wear the products, like I make these products for me and then I also sell them. At the end of the day, I'm making stuff that I want to wear because nobody is making the stuff that I want to make. The first time I ever made my own shirt, the feeling, hell, I went under before I went over selling the merch. But it was the best money I ever spent because then I could wear my own stuff. Every single day I could wake up and just wear a shirt that I'm proud of and that represents me. And so if anybody resonates with that, if anybody resonates with the fantasy within or escapism, that's what I want people to feel when they watch like something from Black Mouf, or when they wear something from Black Mouf or share something.
Oh, very good message.
Thanks, man.
Very good message. So, what does Denzel Whitaker do? What do you do?
Interesting. What do I do? I dream. I create. I love, um, and sadly I fear. I dream because like I always just dream for the greater good. I dream just because that's what makes me happy. I just love creating. Um, Creating is so interesting. Like my buddy Kev, he said creation is probably the closest we can get to God. I thought that shit was so dope when he said that. But yeah, like I love like making something. Um, I love just because I had a big heart. My dad has a big heart. And now what I'm finding out later in life is like my brother got a big heart. My mom is probably the most guarded person out of our entire family. And even then she has an incredible heart. She has an amazing heart. And I've been robbed and taken advantage of with my heart my entire life. And then also I've been guarded purposely with my heart. And then I finally learned to love because I said I wanted to learn how to love because I wanted to know what heartbreak felt like. And I feel like that in and of itself has given me so many layers and characters and textures to what I do. I want to help people. At the end of the day, yeah, I'm selfish. Yeah, I want to build an empire and I want all the riches and what I'm not even going to be like shy about it anymore. I want that. I want the better living for myself. I want the fine things. Like I want all the cars that I could possibly drive and enjoy because I fucking love cars. But I'm not going to lie to you, man. My heart breaks and like I hate to see people going through it and like if I could give back, that's what I want to do. So, I love, and then the only reason why I say I fear is because like as a Gemini, I overthink shit. My greatest demise is the war I fight within myself because I'm overthinking everything. Sometimes I think too much. And I try to just be, but it's like, I like to see everything from all angles. If somebody tells me a yes, I want to kind of tell it a no just to see if it's possible. Like, what is the other outcome? I just want to see all sides of it. And so that's probably my greatest downfall is sometimes I fear too much because I think too much instead of just going. So if you ask me what I do, like, that's kind of what it boils down to. I forgot what the fourth one was. I said I dream, I love. Yeah, fear.
You should mention. So where does Denzel see himself 5 years from now?
5 years from now. My favorite thing to do in the world is traveling. 3 years ago, I wrote on my 5-year list that I wanted to go to Tokyo, and I did that. It's probably one of my favorite places on this earth because it encompasses kind of everything that's within my brand and my brain. So I want to travel more. I want to experience more. 5 years from now, I want to love way more. Who knew that the older I would get that I would become more compassionate? I cry more. I cry every year on my birthday now. Just because like I feel so much love. And then the pain of just not knowing how beautiful that could be. 5 years from now, what's interesting about me is like black don't crack, man. I always kind of said this, like my 30s are going to be lit just because I'm finally going to look like the man that I've kind of acted like. I act mature. I was raised around adults all the time, so I always had the adult answer, but never really had the adult body. So 5 years from now, I want to definitely be that leading man. 5 years from now, I want to get like my passion project, my baby off the ground. The one that they say that can't be done because it's too expensive, or the one that they say might be a little bit too imaginative. I want to get that off the ground. And I want to stop making excuses for why it hasn't gotten off the ground. 5 years from now, I want to be less fearful. But I also want to keep being honest with myself.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned this far in the 18 years?
Biggest lesson I've learned in 18 years. keep going. You got to have faith. Faith more so than anything. The faith that it can and will be done. And if you trust that, and if you trust God, then every day get up and keep going. Also, the biggest lesson that I had to learn is understanding that I'm not normal. And I don't mean that in like the arrogant, like, oh, I'm not normal, look at me. No, I mean that as in I've been blessed with a gift. You know, there was this famous quote, and I wish I knew who wrote it, but it was like, everybody has a talent, but it is a shame because we die or we give up before we ever discover it. And I have been blessed at an early age to discover my talent and to start and stand on a platform and continuously rise on that platform and to really genuinely affect people. You know, like at any level, I say my detachment with celebrity because I always feel like there's a plateau where I could be at. But then I'll have to stop thinking that way because I should already feel like I'm destined to be there. At the same time, I say that because, like, even where I'm at right now, when people come up to me and they tell me, like, I've affected them some kind of way, then that means I've done my job. That means I've shared my truths. That means I've possibly changed somebody's outcome. So yeah, man, like, just awakening to that, like, that's what I was put on this earth to do, is to affect and change and mold lives. And, you know, maybe I can't save everybody by, like, being overly kind and spreading my dollars too thin or whatever, like taking those same bricks and building my house, but maybe I could build my house, have it be an example, and then once that example is formed, then I can go out and give you guys some bricks. You know what I mean? So, I might have even lost thought there, but that, yeah, just what is my inner purpose? That has been my greatest lesson, is understanding that I'm not different, that I'm blessed, that I have a gift, and let me use that gift to change people's lives. What's up, everybody? I am Denzel Whitaker. I am an actor. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a limitless auteur. And I am my come up.